Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, and thanks so much for sticking around. Now today is something slightly different that I usually do on the channel. Well, I wouldn't say different as much because I still talk about mental health, but I wanted to really talk about my story as this month is also Men's Mental Health Month, or Men's Mental Health Awareness. So I wanted to basically talk about my story and how mental health has really crippled me. Because as you guys know, on this channel I talk about mental health, OCD, intrusive thoughts. I do video games. I do all sorts of fun little things. But this sort of video I'm particularly talking about is my own OCD and my own intrusive thoughts. Just because I wanted to, hang on, stay there. Well, you can't go anywhere else, but look. Forever. And this book really made me who I am today, should I say. But it's one of those things that, I know it sounds cliche, but you know, you hear those things in life where they say, oh, this one thing is going to really change your life forever. And when I heard that, I thought, yeah, whatever, that sounds like a load of old baloney. But literally, ironically, all cliches plus, that it did actually change my life. So I'm going to try and show it to you on camera. Can you see that? If not, I'm going to leave a link in the description anyway, nonetheless. But this book in particular by David Adam, The Man Who Couldn't Stop, when I was watching it, I thought, that's just so me. And in this video, I'll explain everything. So thanks so much for continuing your support, and I'll do everything in my power to continue men's mental health, as well as everyone else's mental health. But for Men's Mental Health Awareness a month, let's do that again, shall we? For Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, that's a very long title. Hopefully they change it to something simple. No, I'm only joking. But it's, yeah, for men, I really want to get this to sound really cool, but I really can't because I always get my tongue tied and my tongue twisted. But for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, hey, I got that right. I've done this little video, a little bit of fun. I took the piss out of myself a little bit. It's something that I usually don't do. No, I'm joking, I always do. But just because I wanted to keep it a bit more light-hearted, to talk about my story. But yeah, nonetheless, it's just something that I really wanted to do. And this book here, it honestly changed my life, and the video explains it. So if you can like, subscribe and comment below any problems that you suffer with, just let me know down below, and hopefully as a community we can build together. Also, in the description I'll leave some phone numbers, or I'll leave some advice websites that really helped for me when I was going through my own mental health problems. So yeah, thanks so much once again, and I'll see you in the next video. It's funny because on a day like this, as you can see, it's lovely, it's sunny, you can hear the birds tweeting, you can hear all the leaves rustling in the wind. And if you literally just stand still for a couple of seconds, you can hear the whole world moving. If that makes sense, you can feel the whole world breathing, things going on all around it. It's just so nice. But with mental health, you don't feel like you can ever stop and smell the roses, because you feel like you're continuously on the go. You feel like you're continuously worrying or checking things or doing things. Your anxiety is flared up like a young teenager's acne's face, if that makes sense. And but yeah, it flares up, and it's so stupid because you can never stop and smell the roses. And I remember back in 2019 when I took my own life, I remember thinking, that's it, that is literally it. And obviously, lucky enough, I was saved by people that really cared for me at the time. But now that I'm in this park, now that I'm just chilling here for this couple of hours, obviously when you're going through the moment, it's a different thought. But the thought that's going through my head now is, wow, it's just when you do finally have that couple of minutes to yourself, it's oh my word, it's amazing in the sense that I've gone from where I was to where I am now, and just I've done that through help of others as well as helping everyone else. And it's just, if you can see, obviously back in 2019, I probably wouldn't be able to see it. I'd probably laugh in your face if you told me. But if you can see where I got from where I was in 2019 to where I am now, which is revelation the right word, I guess? But it's changed me. It's like I was born again. And I'm gonna slightly walk away from this area because there's a fucking angry bee next to that bush. But it's such a nice feeling in a sense to realize that in 2019, I was practically dead. My life was over. I was 20 years old, and I didn't want to live no more. I just didn't feel like carrying on. And mental health just, a lot of people don't really realise how bad mental health is. A lot of people just say, oh, I'm having a bad day, oh, I suffer with depression just because I've had one sad day. And I don't mean to take that away from anyone, but with like mental health, if you really suffer with it on like a crippling basis, you realise how on days like this, it's like, it can be really destroying. It can be really like mind settling, or unsettling, should I say. And but yeah, when you get like sunny days like this, and some people say to me, oh, why don't you go out somewhere? Don't get me wrong, I love to, and I know I'm out today, but there's, oh, look at that flower. Whoa, look at that flower. But yeah, and some days I would love to, but I can never plan anything because I've got OCD. I could wake up one day and I could feel on top of the world, or I could wake up another day and I can feel like shit. And so it's so difficult to really plan anything. It's so difficult to really think to myself, yeah, I'm gonna go and do this, or I'm gonna go and do that. And when I do want to do certain things, sometimes I would wake up and go, you know what, yeah, let's go to France. And then I'll think to myself, oh, fuck that, I don't want to go to France, can't be bothered. Not because France is a bad place, just because my OCD is such a like, it just flares up out of nowhere and I just start suffering or start having anxiety. And that's why sometimes I can't always plan anything. So if we get a nice few days, a few hours of weather, I just try and force myself to get out, because I know maybe tomorrow I may not be feeling up for it. And it sounds silly or stupid, I know. But that's with mental health. When you suffer it on a crippling basis, you realise how precious certain days like this are, because you get out, you want to, or for me anyway, I want to start filming or doing some photography. I'm not much of a drawer. I'm not very artistical, if you want to say it. I prefer writing or filming. And so when I get out, I like to put my thoughts on pen and paper, or film a few scenes for this, for example. So yeah, it's just one of those. Look at that flower as well. All the flowers are as tall as me, and I'm about 6 foot. But yeah, so it's just like on days like this, and people go to me, oh, why didn't you get out the other day, or why don't you go out here, or why didn't you do that? It's just like, I can't always, I really cannot. And it's so upsetting, because obviously I've got friends and family who go, oh, you're so unreliable, oh, you can't. And it's really difficult, because it's really hard to try and say to them, I'm suffering today, because you said that yesterday and the day before and the day before that, and you said that 6 days ago as well. And they're thinking, oh, well, you suffer every day. And it's true in a sense that I do, but it's only because of intrusive thoughts or OCD or anxiety. And I'm not trying to blame it on that, of course, as well, but I'm only unreliable because on that particular day, I just could not get myself out of bed or off the sofa or whatever. And that's why it's so crippling. That's why it's so life-changing. I mean, I don't mean to take this away from anyone, but OCD is my wheelchair, because I can walk, don't get me wrong, but I can't go far. I can't go a certain distance on particular days. And it becomes so life-crushing, where you see so many other people. Obviously, I'm so happy for them, I'm so grateful, but you see so many other people that are going through a particular time, and you think to yourself, wow, I'd love to be that person on holiday, or I'd love to be that person that's going to do these certain things. And yet I can't, because these OCD intrusive thoughts are stopping me. And it becomes to a point where, whoa, I almost tripped on some bush. It becomes to a point where you know you can't move forward in life. And that's why in 2019, when things just become so bad, I thought to myself, oh, you know what, fuck this. I thought, if I can't change my life, I can't move forward, then I'm just gonna have to end it. And that's literally the bleak version of it, where I just thought to myself, I'm just gonna have to kill myself to get out of this bubble, to get out of this mindset that I'm in, where I can't move forward, couldn't move back, left, right, up or down. I was just stuck, because intrusive thoughts, fucking hell, when they hit hard, they hit and they hurt. Well, that was a lot of H's, but yeah, it's just, because it does upset me when you get some people going, oh, I feel depressed today, or oh, I suffer with a bit of anxiety, or I have a bit of OCD. It's like, they don't realize how bad it is to actually have it on a 24/7 basis. And it's like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I suffer with I'm not saying they have to suffer with it 100%, but when people take it away from other people, I mean, no disrespect, but it's like me saying, oh, I've done my back in, I know what it's like to be in a wheelchair. Of course I don't. That's got nothing to do with it. Doing your back in has got nothing to do with being in the wheelchair. But if I compare it to it, it makes it sound just as bad. And it's horrible, because it just takes away for people that is in a wheelchair. And that's the same thing when people go, oh, I've had one bad day and I feel depressed. It's like, fuck off. How about have one bad year? and feel depressed. That's bad, and it does really annoy me. But I'm not trying to take that away from anyone. All I'm basically saying is I just wanted to basically make an awareness on how bad and how crippling mental health is. Because there's some days where you just get up and you just can't be bothered. I mean, you see some of the strongest people. I mean, I'm a big football fan. You see people like Harry Kane. You see Jesse Lingard and Dele Alli talk about, even Rashford. I've seen Smith Rowe and Phil Foden all talk about their problems on and off the pitch. And it just goes to show, I mean, they've got everything they want in a particular sense, but yet they still suffer. And it just goes to show that no matter who you are or what you're doing, you will suffer, or you may suffer with mental health. And obviously, mental health don't discriminate. It can suffer or pick on anyone in a sense. And what's difficult about that is just because we just don't know what's going to happen. With mental health, you can get treatment for it. I mean, I've been getting treatment for quite a few years for it, but intrusive thoughts, they change, they manifest every single day. They just change into so many different things. I remember I was getting treatment for OCD because I was worried about certain things going into my bedroom. Like, I used to have pets, like 2 cats. And as they got older, they started to go to a toilet, not in the particular place that they would go to a toilet in. And so I was always worried about them going into my room, just in case they had a toilet in there, should I say, or they had a piss in there, should I say. And, but then when I started to get treatment for that, boom, out of nowhere, oh, I'm not worried about that no more. I allowed my cats into my room and fucking hell, I was a changed man. And then it manifested onto something else. I had to check locked doors. So then we started to focus on locked doors. And in the end, because the OCD intrusive thoughts just manifested into everything, my therapist, or my therapy sessions started to run out. And in the end, it was like, well, we haven't really cured anything with OCD because it just changes every day. It just literally changes every single day. I mean, something new that happens in my life, I might start getting OCD about that. And that's why change is such a big thing. That's why change is such a scary thing. Because it's like, is my mental health going to be able to deal with change? Am I going to be able to go through every day thinking, oh, what am I going to be worried about now? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm much better. I mean, sorry, should I say I'm in a better place than I was in 2019. But I'm not cured from OCD or mental health. I still suffer with it bits and bits every day. I mean, OCD more, because that's like my invisible handcuffs. I mean, depression or anxiety has subsided. I'm not as bad as I was a few years ago. But with OCD, that's the main one that cripples me. And I guess that's what flares up my anxiety and my depression. But I just wanted to flip the camera, but I just wanted to basically talk personally to you now, where I basically say that if you are suffering with OCD, and if you are suffering with mental health, whatever, anxiety, depression, PTSD, all the names for it, literally reach out. Whether you're a professional footballer and singer, a boxer, someone who works in a bank, Tesco's, whatever, whoever you are, just reach out. Because it's one of those diseases, it's one of those things where you shouldn't have to deal with it alone, you shouldn't have to face with it by yourself. And I remember when I was in hospital in 2019, I was reading on a newspaper of this guy saying how he suffered with OCD and he felt like he was the only one dealing with this particular fault. And funny enough, he described a thought, an intrusive thought that I suffer with. And I thought, hang on, you're not alone, because I suffer with it as well. And so that's what I'm saying. If you do suffer, if you do go through this particular thought, just reach out. No one's gonna judge you, no one's gonna say anything, because at the end of the day, they're intrusive thoughts. I remember reading a book, I'll bring up a picture of it in a second, but I remember reading a book called The Man Who Couldn't Stop by David Adam. Brilliant book. I got it for my birthday from my dad. It was a really good, life-changing book. And it was amazing because this guy describes himself or other accounts of people suffering with OCD. And it got to the point where I thought, hang on, that sounds like me. I suffer, that exactly sounds like me. And when I heard all these people with their accounts of OCD, I thought, oh my word, I thought, that's what I suffer with. And I thought, I'm not alone no more. I am not alone when I suffer with these intrusive thoughts. Because I remember I used to have these intrusive thoughts and I thought, am I the only ones that have these weird, sick sounding thoughts? And when I started to read up and I started to hear other people's stories, I thought, no. I thought, there's other people there that suffer. There's other people that go through the same sort of thing that I go through. And I thought, thank God for that. I thought, thank fuck for that. I thought, thank you. Someone suffers the same as I do. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, I'm saying that because I didn't feel like I was alone. I felt like I was a changed man. That's still recorded? Yeah. I felt like I was a changed man. And, but yeah, it just felt so great. And I didn't mean that in a bad way. I didn't want to make it sound like I like it when other people suffer, but I like the sound that other people suffer the same as I do. I was not alone. Intrusive thoughts, all these things that people was thinking about, I had the same thoughts. I had the same gambling thoughts, I had the same drinking thoughts, I had the same thoughts of wanting to steal something from a shop. Not that I ever did, but all these intrusive thoughts that other people was going through, I thought, yes, I'm not alone. And that's why I always say reach out amongst the community. That's why I say do what you can to reach out, because please, you're not alone. Honestly, when I was going through in 2019, I thought to myself, I've got to end my life. Well, the sun's there. I don't know if that's going to cause any blurriness, but yeah, I've got to end my life because I'm the only one that's suffering with this thought. But then I read David Adams' book and I thought, fucking hell, he's just as weird as me. I'm sorry for ranting on, but OCD, honestly, and mental health has crippled my fucking life, Dan, where it's like I'm handcuffed to a radiator and it's warming up over time. I mean, that's the best metaphor I can come up with, but it's just got to the point now where I wanted to say, look, if you are suffering, reach out, please, honestly. Because mental health's got an amazing community with Mind Samaritans, you've got Shout. There's even an Instagram page called, I think, sorry if I get this wrong, I'll leave a link in the description anyway, but I think it's called Andy Man's Club, and they talk about men's mental health, and it's amazing. When I was following them, I was talking to them, and they're fucking amazing, brilliant people. They talk about their mental health, intrusive thoughts, and it's so inspirational. It's just like, I'm not alone, because now there's a group of people that talk about it. So yeah, I'll leave all these links in the description and whatnot, but on days like this, it's why I love to get out. And it's why I just say to everyone, if you can, just reach out. Because in 2019, I didn't reach out and I almost died. I mean, lucky enough, I was saved. For what I heard talking, but lucky enough, I was saved by people that was caring enough for me. But please reach out, because do what I didn't. Wait, do what I didn't? Well, don't do what I did, should I say, and that's leave it too long and try and take your own life. Because there is, at the time I didn't know, but there is a community that cares. There is a community that listens. And not only, but there is a community that will be just like you, that will suffer with exactly like you. Because I thought I was the only one as well, but I was wrong. So anyone that is suffering, anyone, footballer, musician, artist, post office man, bus driver, lollipop lady, I guess, anyone, just reach out. I mean, you hear so much like criticism of mental health, but fuck it, just reach out. Who gives a fuck? I don't. I used to worry about what people think, but now I think to myself, you know what, I'm nuts anyway, so who the fuck cares?